Good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to whatever the fuck this is. Happy, what's today? Monday? Monday night. Happy Monday night. The Mondayest of Mondays. I was just talking with somebody about the methadone clinic going in Lime. Sounds like. I'm going to save that for a minute, but anyway, the eve of the most important election ever. I'm just kidding. I don't even know who's running for what. I saw Mark Mantovani's name on a sign today. I've been avoiding the mainstream media like leftist avoided the Rona. That was a joke. I don't want to upset the leftists. I want them to listen to. I hope you guys are having a great night. I don't know what that is, but that's awesome. It's the blood moon eclipse tonight. Beaver moon. Beaver. It's a beaver moon tonight. It's a full lunar eclipse. And tonight, if you're fortunate enough to be awake before 5:15, which I'm sure I will be because daylight savings time has my emotional state and sleep schedule and fucking time schedule all fucked up. So I'm sure I'll be awake. But you go outside and you look up, blood moon, sacrifice a rabbit. I don't know, fucking do some blood moon shit. You'll have to Google it because I don't really know anything about like what you sacrifice or do during blood moons. Yeah, the Blues definitely are in some trouble, man. If you watched the game tonight, it was Jesus. They had a fully healthy squad too, so there's no real reason or excuse for the madness that we saw tonight. Anyway, I want to talk about Amendment 3 tonight because tomorrow there is an election. I'll pull up the St. Louis County like website to like check out their spiel and to see what they're voting on. I'll check out the Jefferson County website. I'm sure there's a quick link I can find to do all this, and I probably should have done it before I got ready, but you know what? It's 9:50 at night. I just got done toking a little devil's lettuce. My eyeballs are sticky. I need a little Visine. I got it out, but I'm not sure if I used it or not. I mean, this isn't really medicated. It's just like water, I think. So if my eyes keep sticking like this, I'm definitely going to have to squirt a little more juice in there. But I don't know what you guys are doing, but you shouldn't be doing shit. It's like 10 o'clock at night. Maybe everybody's sleeping. But I want to talk about Amendment 3 and why you shouldn't vote for that shit. And I know it's shocking to people that I would say to vote no against what looks like a recreational marijuana bill, an innocent recreational marijuana bill that I assure you is anything but innocent. Okay. The first round of medical marijuana legalization here in Missouri went nothing like it was promised. Just like always, the government does what the government does, and they get involved and they fuck everything up. When we were voting to legalize marijuana medically in Missouri, we were told that it was going to be Missouri-owned businesses. We were told that the license was going to be a lottery drawing. We were told a lot of things that didn't come true. We've even had federal involvement in our Missouri medical marijuana licensing, and that's an issue. So, like, looking back on it, a lot of people just don't care about the inner workings of it. They're just glad they can go to the store and buy weed. And you know what? I'm glad you can too, because a lot of people don't know where to go to buy some weed. And I don't want anyone out there to think that I'm anti-marijuana, because I am pro marijuana all the way across the board. I'm pro marijuana if you use it for medical reasons, and I'm pro marijuana if you just use it to get high. I don't see at all any reason why there should be a law set up that says that you can't have, possess, or grow marijuana. Okay. So maybe I'm a bit of a hippie. The problem that I have with this bill, the biggest problem that I have with this bill is that it's a constitutional amendment, which basically means that they're rewriting the Missouri Constitution, and it's really hard to ratify or change this once it's set in stone. Now, earlier this year, Shaky Joe came out and he promised us all that he's going to let out the nonviolent drug offenders because after, how long has it been since 94? After that many years, 20, I don't know, 28 years or some shit, he's changed his mind about drugs. Maybe it's got something to do with his son. I don't know. But they're talking about changing federal scheduling. And I got to be honest, I look for it to be used as a bailout tool in the upcoming 2024 elections. I look for the federal government to deregulate to Schedule 1 or move it down from a Schedule 1, because the laws are ridiculous. Okay. I mean, who cares where they started? But my point is that we got a raw deal in the first go around. Okay. We see already that we've got a lot of out of town setups. Starbuds is here. A lot of companies from out of town, out of state conglomerates, Cookies is set up here. Like, how the fuck did a Cookies dispensary get set up here? The licensing was a joke. The very first person to sell marijuana in Missouri was Scott Rosenblum's daughter. Like, if you don't see a problem with that, and if you think that that was luck of the lottery, then you might not be playing with a full deck of cards or just not able to read between the very visible and clearly bold printed lines that say this shit was fixed. I'm aggravated about it because I watch a lot of people that I know and love spend a lot of money trying to get, licensing and permits to participate in what they thought was going to be state ran legal medical marijuana. And it's been anything but that. Okay. So when you're going into this tomorrow, think about it. Do you want to implore and strengthen Missouri's medical marijuana monopoly? Because I don't. Okay. Not only that, but you have more rights right now than you will if this passes tomorrow. Amendment 3 would change the Missouri Constitution to include law enforcement stop and cite mandate for smoking in public. This means that as an adult, if you're smoking what's recreationally legal in Missouri, they can use it as a stop and they can cite you for public consumption. Now, I agree the smell of marijuana isn't for everybody. And some people will argue that, well, you shouldn't be consuming outside. I get it, but you shouldn't be drinking beers outside. You shouldn't be doing any of that shit outside either, right? 3-ounce possession limit with fines and misdemeanor penalties for possessing, producing, sharing, or delivering 3 to 6 ounces. Like, they're talking about decriminalization and releasing criminals, except it is still be a possession limit, and anything over 6 ounces would be considered a felony. That doesn't really sound like legality to me. That sounds like you want to control the goods. They're also adding felony charges for possessing, I just said this, producing, sharing, or delivering more than 6 ounces. Mandates state that anyone serving a sentence for more than 3 pounds has to finish the sentence before being eligible for expungement. Now, this sort of makes a blurry area for like who's going to actually get their record expunged and get released from jail because, let's be honest, you don't go to prison for small-time marijuana possession. You go to prison for pounds and pounds of marijuana. Okay. So 3 pounds, you have to finish your sentence before you can get it expunged. That's not releasing people. That's not expunging sentences. I mean, who the fuck are you going to let out of jail? Like 9 people in the county jail or some shit? That's how they get you. They make you these promises and they tell you this shit. And then you just go, oh, cool, man, legal weed. And they're going to let people out of jail for it. Psh, fuck yeah, let's go. Mark my words, man. You'll see in the upcoming months that people aren't going to be getting released from prison for this shit. Okay? Because it's just fancy writing. It's lies in disguise, man. It's just a joke. This goes further, and it puts you in a government database if you want to home grow and waive your Fourth Amendment protections against warrantless search. What this means is that even though it's going to be recreational, you still have to apply for a permit to legally grow your own marijuana in Missouri. If they catch you outside of those bounds, which they could easily do, because when you sign up for the permit, you also give up your right to object to search, meaning at any time they want, day or night. If you agree to the permit, they can knock on your door, and they don't even have to knock. They can just open the door and come on in. If it's locked, they can just kick it down, shoot your dog. Who knows? Next thing you know, you're a felon who's got more than 6 ounces. This doesn't sound like legality to me. It sounds like control. This further creates a monopoly for medical marijuana businesses to enter the recreational market, which leads to high prices for consumers. The odd thing about this bill is the current medical marijuana monopoly in Missouri would also get to structure the additional licensing and get to pick out who gets the licensing and who gets the permits for the micro businesses that they're set up to fail. Okay? I mean, it's the illusion that they're giving an opportunity for business, but trust me, this isn't friendly. 250 more licenses is the max. Like, come on, it's a big state. If we're legalizing marijuana, why are we worried about how many licenses there are? Why are we tracking your consumption and making you agree to warrantless searches if you want to grow it? You don't get mad at me when I grow tomatoes. More people die from tomatoes every year than marijuana. Go ahead, fact check that shit. Do what you do. So also, I want to let you know that once you sign up to be a grower or a consumer, you've also forfeited your right to legally purchase a firearm at that point, from that point on. Unless, and even then, even if they deschedule it, you've still admitted to a crime on the ATF form that you filled out to purchase the firearm. Because they ask you a clear question. Do you use or are you addicted to any federally illegal narcotics? If you agree and say, no, I'm not, which you will, because everybody fills that box out like that. Hell, the guy at the gun store might tell you, well, check that box, buddy. They won't do that. Not if they're a legal facility. But if they ever want to back check that and reference that, which nowadays, since our medical privacy is becoming less and less, soon they might be able to cross-reference those records. Imagine everybody you know that's bought a legal firearm since becoming a medical marijuana recipient now being convicted of a felony, lying on a firearms form. It's a big deal. It's a big deal, man. Don't do it. Be careful. This proposes a micro business license category that ordinary Missouri entrepreneurs is what we should call them, because anybody who gets set up for that shit is probably going to fail. Anyway, that ordinary Missourian entrepreneurs are blocked from, and that can be controlled by the current marijuana monopoly operators. This is mostly funded by out-of-state operators that corruptly acquired medical marijuana businesses' licenses. Now, if you don't believe that there's out-of-town conglomerates working here, just go ahead and Google Starbuds and see where they started. They didn't start here, and they shouldn't have been able to apply for any permits here. Look up a couple of the other dispensaries. Look them all up, because I assure you, most of them are out-of-town conglomerates. The marijuana game is being controlled by the elite. Again, this is a simple man's task. This is a farming thing that's been done by black market hippies for the last 50 years, at least. Okay? So why all of a sudden is marijuana legal, but the only people benefiting from growing it, dispensing it, using it are the already ridiculously rich people who make the laws that you and I have to follow? It's crazy. And there's proof that they even went so far as to pay off politicians to block the Cannabis Freedom Act in the Missouri legislature, brought up by Ron Hicks. We only support marijuana legalization if it creates true opportunity in our state with no license caps, no artificial barriers to entry, or monopolies to deal with. I just don't support this bill, guys. And I don't lie to you about much. I talk straight to you about everything that I know about for fact. And Amendment 3 is a bad deal for Missouri. It's a good deal for the black market because it's just going to lead to higher marijuana prices in Missouri. If the feds go legal, then we can't participate in out-of-state commerce. That's weird. We can't, only the established marijuana monopoly can make the decisions from here on out. Not only that, but it gets written into your constitution. That's a lot. So, please, if you're already consuming marijuana, just continue to consume marijuana the way that you've been consuming marijuana. please vote no for this. Okay. Let's give Missourians, regular people like you, me, and the people that we know and love, who've been really involved in the marijuana industry for years and years and years. Let's give them a chance to get into an industry, a new industry. And let's just give a license to anybody who wants one, because who gives a fuck how much marijuana you buy? I can go to the store right now, fill my entire shopping cart with Jack Daniels and any other kind of vodkas and whiskeys and alcohols that I want. And as long as I have the money to pay for the shit, no one gives a fuck how much I buy or how much I consume. Alcohol kills shitloads and shitloads of people every year in America. Why isn't that regulated like marijuana, which kills fucking nobody? It's ridiculous. Double standards. Just say no tomorrow at the polls. Okay? I know that it looks like fun. I know that recreational marijuana sounds great. This is a setup. A lot of people out there watching may not even care. They're just like, dude, I just want to be able to go buy weed, bro. Bro, the first time that you take your license to that dispensary and you give it to them, which they're going to take it because you can't get in there unless you're 21, whether it's recreational or not, they're putting you in a database. Roe versus Wade got overturned. Your right to medical freedom and medical privacy is dwindling swiftly. How long do you think it is until they have all the records of people who consume marijuana who shouldn't have firearms? Well, I hope it's useful information, and I wanted to wait until the day before to make sure that it was like fresh in your minds, man, because we forget shit. Life moves fast. You know, you go to the poll, you show up, and you're like, yeah, man, legal weed, woo. And then you're like, fuck, that's the thing I was supposed to vote no on. But you know, I mean, we gotta look at the future, man. Seriously, like I don't need anyone's permission to consume marijuana. That may upset people watching or somebody watching, but I've been consuming it my entire adult life. I'll continue to consume it, whether it's illegal, not illegal, medical, recreational. You know, who am I hurting? Who am I hurting by consuming a little marijuana? The answer: nobody but myself. I mean, that's even if it gives you like, how is it harming me? I don't know, you know? Yeah, well, it's a little bit long of a video that people share. They'll tune out quick, man. Most people have like 30 seconds of an attention span, and then they're like, yep, I'm cashing out. And just to show you that I love the devil's lettuce, I'll partake in a marijuana-like substance live on the air because I love the marijuanas. I want you to love the marijuanas. I don't care why you love the marijuanas. You could love the marijuanas because it helps you with your Crohn's disease. You could love the marijuana just because you like the way it relaxes you after a long day of work. You could like marijuana because it gives you a better boner when you have sex. You could like marijuana just because it makes your cookies taste better. I don't give a fuck why you like marijuana, why you think it should be legal. I support your ability to use it as a fucking grown-ass adult. How long are you just going to keep passing ridiculous ass laws, man? I love freedom too. I mean, typically speaking, you could do everything that you want to do as long as you're not hurting anybody else. Just follow the rules, keep your head down, you know, stay out of the eyes of the fucking general public, man. Watch out for your neighbors. Be cool to each other. And vote no on Amendment 3 for fuck's sake. Please. Please. And, you know, there's elections going on tomorrow in St. Louis County. I don't even want to talk about anything but Amendment 3. I don't want to get involved in a hoorah of which county executive to vote for because I got to be honest, I don't, you know, I don't see any of them saving us. You know, I think the thing is we got to save ourselves. We always have to save ourselves, man. You could like it here, you could like it there, you could like it anywhere. You certainly could. That Facebook user thing. There's a way to change that to where I could see your name and I could see Lori's name. Lori, tell your husband that I said happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. It's a giant. It's my giant friend, man. I'm 5'11". I'd say that I'm 6 foot tall, but my wife would probably pop out of the closet somewhere and say, no, you're not. You're 5'11". And she likes to do that to me. It's like a fun thing for her. Knocks me down, my manliness, just a little bit. But, oh, hello, Angela. Well, I love you guys too. And I'm glad you're watching. And happy birthday. I lost my train of thought. That is all I am voting on. Vote no. That's right. And you know what, guys? Here's another thing that you could take it to the voting booth with you. You know that just because there's a space where you can vote doesn't mean that you have to. You don't have to vote on anything. You can just vote on the one thing that you want. Punch that button or hit the little digital screen. Bam. Done. Donna. You ain't got to go voting on shit. Like, you see all them judges and all that shit. You don't know who the fuck that guy is. Don't vote for him. Fuck that guy. There's guys keep their jobs for fucking decades just for being at the top of the list. You know? Yeah. Well, I hope I explained a lot of reasons why I don't like Amendment 3, and a lot of other people don't like Amendment 3 also, so for other reasons. And, I could post some links in the story or in this video afterwards of, about corresponding. You could read for yourself. Research it. Read the actual bill, see what it says. Anyway, in other news, I don't know if my fellow Lemolians have seen, but there's a new methadone clinic going in Lime. That's a good time. Right down the street from Old Lime Theater. Looks like a pretty big foundation, too. I hear whispers that the Port Authority is involved. The Port Authority is involved. Not involved, but the Port Authority that's in charge of what happens to the funds that are, like brought in by the casinos and the real estate that the Port Authority owns with no oversight or regulatory commission to overlook. Yeah, those guys. So, bam. Get ready for that, guys. I can't think of a time in my life where that kind of building has helped an area. I understand a lot of people are optimistic. And, I'd like to hope that it helps out somebody. But this does not sound good for Lime, guys. A homeless shelter / methadone clinic. Now, all I know for sure is that it's definitely going in. I got confirmation from a very trustworthy source in the neighborhood, and it is definitely what it is. It's going to be a methadone / homeless shelter. Whatever the fuck that means. As far as the funding goes, I'm definitely going to look into it, because wouldn't it aggravate you to know the casino moved into your neighborhood, sold you all the lies? I don't know if people are watching that were here whenever the casino wasn't in Lime, but do you remember the shit that they promised us? They promised us the fucking world. They literally promised to blow every male resident twice in 5 years. They said, we'll give you door-to-door oral sex if you vote to unincorporate. They told us that it was going to bring new jobs to the area, that it was going to help out. Now, good news, bad news, it helped out the school. It helped out the school so much, in fact, that they raised your taxes a shitload to cover the new expenses that it takes to have a nicer school like that. Now, I want the school to be nice too, but I bet you didn't see that real estate tax hike coming, did you? Yeah. Weird, because you would have thought that the casino was paying for that, but it turns out that we're actually paying for that shit because we're also going to the casino, popping our monies in there. They get a couple bucks off the top for fucking send it back to our neighborhood, but it doesn't go to our neighborhood unless it's in the form of a methadone clinic. Do we need a fucking methadone clinic? I don't know, man. Don't get me wrong. There's definitely a lot of people walk around that clearly look like they need a nap or maybe some methadone or something. And I'm not trying to be crass or whatever. But a methadone clinic, is that going to bring more addicts and homeless people to the area? Yeah, my vote is yes. So that's something to keep an eye on. I'm going to do some research and look into the funding. And I'm going to try to figure out who paid for it, who's getting paid on it, because that's the fucked up thing about it is this shit isn't about helping people. They're going to make money on homeless people who need methadone or however it works out. There is profit in this shit. Okay? Like, This is where we get Illuminati-ish. So if you don't want to get weird, then you might as well just go watch some cat videos or something. A methadone clinic gives people methadone instead of drugs. So methadone is a drug that's used to replace heroin or methamphetamines or other drugs that would have withdrawal associated with stopping those drugs. So you can go take the methadone, and then you don't have the withdrawals, and you don't get fucked up, allegedly, even though people sell their methadone. Sounds like they're getting fucked up on it a little bit, at least a little bit, unless you're just selling like a day of not shaken. I don't know. Uh, I've never done that kind of drugs. I like innocent old marijuana. So, yeah, bummer, right? Like, fuck. Anyway, there's a lot of profit in that shit. And the entire industry right now is leaning towards pharmaceuticals or mainstream media, like the music you listen to. We're sipping on scissor, we're eating Percocets, we're doing weird drugs and shit. Molly is popular as fuck. And then who go figure, the government's involved in the drugs and they're involved in the rehab. Substance D, A Waking Life. You ever seen that movie? It's a great movie called A Waking Life. Crazy flick, actually. Keanu Reeves. Weird movie. Anyway, that sucks. So I guess I've been doing this for 26 minutes and 26 seconds. That's pretty neat. That's about all I got. Please, for fuck's sake, vote no on Amendment 3. We deserve better. We deserve a better law. Look up Ron Hicks and the Cannabis Freedom Act. Look that shit up. It's a much better bill. If you contact your local reps, maybe we can get some backing to it. Although I got a feeling that the corporations already have their hands on our local reps who get to do the voting for us when it comes down to this kind of shit. If we allow this to get voted in, we are going to fucking set ourselves back in the industry. Mark my words. So at any rate, I hope you guys have a very good night. Okay, I'm not going to talk about Republican shit or Democratic shit because fuck that shit. I want you guys to vote no, please. Do me a favor. If I've ever made you smile or I've ever done anything nice or talked nice to you or just entertained you for fucking 8 seconds, please, if it doesn't matter to you, please just vote no on 3 tomorrow. Please. Please. I like making suits angry. Every time you vote no on Amendment 3, a suit gets erectile dysfunction. So think about that while you're in the voting booth. You want to give someone a limp whiskey dick? Yeah, that rich guy doesn't deserve a fucking full raging boner. He deserves a fucking half chub, a limp noodle, a wet spaghetti. That's what he fucking deserves. Okay? Fuck that guy. Stop exploiting us. Stop stealing all the revenue and controlling all the industries. God damn it. You fucking lizard people, suit wearing pieces of fucking dog turd. Fucking shit. Have a nice night, everybody.